guys, how you doing? Thanks for joining. This is my first video. My name's Billy. If you do not know me, I will forever, I guess, on YouTube be known as Coin Ninja. As you can tell behind me, it is dark outside, so what's keeping me motivated and juiced up right now is some good old-fashioned iron bean coffee. So cheers to them. Just a little bit about what this channel is going to be. I'm currently stationed in Okinawa, Japan. With that being said, anything that is said or done on this channel by me is in no ways a representation of the Marine Corps or the military. It is solely independently on me. My views are my views, not the military's, now that we've got that out of the way. So I'm stationed in Okinawa, Japan. And with that, a lot of unique opportunities have presented themselves in terms of metal detecting. So this channel, hopefully, although it's called Coin Ninja, entails a lot more than that. Being that it's in Okinawa, you know, it's a tropical island, so there's a lot of jewelry metal detecting that I do. But obviously, it's the location of the largest battle of the Pacific in World War II. The Battle of Okinawa, and so a lot of war relics are found as well. And so I break down my my metal detecting hunts into three categories. Coins being one of those, so specifically ancient coins. The other category is jewelry, and with that comes modern coins as well. And I love modern coins. Here in Okinawa, it's not just a hassle of, you know, digging clad all the time. I know back in the States, clad's not sought after. You want those silver coins. Here, clad goes a long ways. So we have 500 yen coins and 100 yen coins. So in the 2 years I've been detecting, I've amassed nearly $4,000, which has in turn paid for a lot of my equipment. And then that third category is war relics, you know, World War II relics. So I've had an opportunity to do a lot of metal detecting in that regard, and that's actually why how I first got started in metal detecting was with one of my metal detecting buddies. So that's who I am. That's who this channel, what this channel is going to be. Moving forward, every video after this is either going to be me hunting, me actually going out and metal detecting. I'm also going to do a lot of product reviews as well, and so I like to try the different brands. My first machine was just the Garrett Ace 250. That got me into it, and then I went from that. I knew that I loved the hobby, so I went ahead and bought a CTX 3030. I had that thing paid off in a matter of months, just because, again, the currency here, the coins are amazing, and the amount of jewelry that I found. I bought an Equinox 800, used that for a while, went to the States for some training for about 5 months, picked up a Deus, didn't really touch it when I got back here, but now it's kind of, as I've gotten used to the machine, I think it's probably going to be my primary land machine. My CTX and Equinox obviously still being my good water machines. And then one machine I bought just on a whim with plans to do a review on this channel was the new Nocta Macro Simplex. And that is an outstanding machine. I'm going to do an entire review on that, so stay tuned for that. But hey, since this is an intro, I figured I would go ahead and show you what my finds have been for the last 2 years. And as you see over my shoulder here, a bunch of empty display cases. This video has taken so long to put out because I honestly did not realize how much stuff I have found over the past not even 2 years of me doing this. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into all this stuff over here. As you can see on the wall up here, we've got my machines. Up here you've got my CTX 3030. I still absolutely love that machine. I love the target ID that you're able to get. Very accurate ratings. Obviously the Equinox 800, These white tapes here, they're actually glow in the dark for all the cave hunting that I do. And then again, this is the new Nocta. I'll do a review on that. And then obviously my XP setup with my GoPro for future videos. And this is just kind of my setup that I utilize. Now over here, I guess we'll just go ahead and jump into it. So where should we begin? There's really a lot. I guess what we can do is just start with the rings. Now there's, I've dug a bunch of junk rings, but I've also dug some pretty good looking rings. These two right here, side by side. So these two right here were actually dug the same night and weren't too far apart. They're actually the same size, so I'm guessing that maybe they were together, both 18 karat. These next three rings were also dug the same night. These two right here were in the same hole. That one's platinum. That was my first platinum ring I had found. And that one is both white and yellow gold. Very unique. Both of those are Japanese. I'd love to find the owner. It's just difficult, with the language barrier. And then this one is platinum, yellow gold, and rose gold. So rose gold hearts, yellow gold hearts, and then a platinum center with some diamonds, as well as some small diamonds on that one. This was on, so this was the first ring I ever dug. It's 18 karat white gold, first ring I ever dug. This was the last ring on that PT field, also 18 karat. The inscription on the inside, the wedding date was from 1967. Thought that was pretty awesome. Saying that was actually on another military base. That was the same base. This was actually one of the first holes I dug with the Nocta Macro Simplex, and that is platinum. I dug that a few weeks ago. This was also dug on that same base. This was dug on a beach. This is my first Tiffany & Co. wedding band. It's thin. This ring, actually, I did not dig it, but it was the first piece of gold. It's a little toe ring. First piece of gold I had ever seen come out of the water, and my detecting buddy actually dug it in a sand scoop with his Excalibur, and I was forever hooked to detecting beaches. This was my first class ring. I took a trip to Tokyo specifically for metal detecting, and was pretty stoked to find this. Unfortunately, there's no stone in it, but I looked up this school. That was the first year of that junior college. This was on a separate base. This Marine Corps ring was on the same that same PT field. This one is silver and yellow gold. Silver and rose gold. These are just some silver rings down here. So now we're getting to the silver rings. This was dug in Tokyo as well. That was also dug in Tokyo. So those of you that metal detect obviously know exactly where you have found all of your stuff. All these wedding bands were dug on military bases. So hey, if you're watching this and you've lost your ring, I probably have it. I've returned a few, and I really enjoy doing that. These are some of the other pendants that I found just throughout Okinawa. Some, more interesting than others. These right here were dug in Tokyo, as well as that one was actually dug here. Here's some just silver religious pieces that I've dug. Hopefully this is coming through all right in the camera. We'll see. From what I've heard, everybody getting started on YouTube, your first video sucks, so hopefully this one doesn't suck too bad. Over here, those little Boy Scout neckerchiefs, I guess. I mentioned that I had went back to the States to do some training, and while I was there, I did some Civil War hunting, and these are just a few things that I had brought back. This is a small grape shot cannonball that was either from Civil War or Revolutionary War. These are the various bullets that I dug. This is an odd one that we took a trip to Hawaii, and I dug this in Hawaii. If any of you guys can identify this, I mean, obviously it's a, it's a slug, but very, very odd. This was, when I dug it, I actually thought it was junk, or, just an old toy. It is actually a flintlock pistol barrel, but that's where the, the flint would spark the powder inside and ignite the charge. It's got some pretty awesome fancy on it. We took it to the NRA museum, and the gentleman that is one of the curators there dates it to likely the late 1700s, early 1800s, and said that, who knows, it could have been used in the War of 1812 based on the location that I dug it. So, pretty awesome. I also had some other really awesome finds that I got rid of. I dug a State of New York belt buckle, and I sold that to a good friend of mine. Hopefully he's watching this video right now. But I think he liked it more than I did. I'm not too much of a Civil War buff. This is a mortar that was, or mortar tail, mortar fin, that was dug over. Rather. I will say, disclaimer, these rounds are actually, they're not live rounds, so don't panic. Basically they've been diffused, if you will. They're not live rounds, full disclaimer. But it's pretty awesome. That was a full M1 Garand clip. So that's a M1 carbine. This is a Japanese round. This is another Japanese round of a different caliber. These are M1 Garand, so 30-06. This is a US 45 cal. This was I've only found 2 of these. It's a kind of like between a 9mm and a 380. And then this was a 9mm revolver round, so that was pretty neat. I guess where should we start now? Come over here to the pipes. Find a lot of old pipes. This is probably my favorite one. This one, or one of my most recent ones, this one right here. See, this is another 45 cal. Like I said, they're not live, so don't report me on YouTube. But yeah, these are some of my better pipes that I found. Old tobacco smoking pipes. Alright, well, this is Coin Ninja channel, so I guess let's look at some coins here. All these were dug, or most of these were dug on Okinawa. A couple were dug in mainland Japan, Tokyo, when I went on a detecting trip. But this is one of my favorite ones. It's massive compared to the others, and I was stoked when I found it. The other day I found this one and I listed. I was so excited. It's like, oh my god, guys, I found my oldest coin. Well, as I was, getting all these relics out, I often go on hunts and I don't clean them up. So I actually discovered I've already found that coin before, and this one I actually like the shape that it's in better. And I'm pretty sure it was from the same site, but nonetheless, I was stoked. Some of these I also still haven't identified and dated. This was the first coin I had found when I specifically went out looking for coins, and for a long time it was my oldest. So again, the ones that are in this case are unique in that they're not the typical ones that come up. The typical ancient coins that come up are the kanetsuhos, which are like this right here. The reason this one is in here is because it's a unique kanetsuho. It is like this one, and it's what's called 4 waves. So it was a 4 mon. It was worth 4 as opposed to 1 of the others. Some other ancient ones. Now this next row is not ancient, but 1800s, and so I recently dug this one actually with the Deus at a site that I had pounded with my other machines. So that's a 1898 5 sen, so pre-World War. These are 18 and early 1900s as well. This is so the 100 yens used to be silver, just like our dimes and quarters used to be silver. So I've only dug 2 of those, so both of them are going to be listed here. There's one, and here's the back side, so that's another one. This was the first silver quarter I ever dug. This is a really neat looking coin. It's a 2 sin. It's hard to tell, but there's 2 dragons on there. Pretty neat. So before yen, it was called sin. This is a half sin. Right here, again, 2 dragons. And this is also a 5 sin of different variant. It's not silver, it just looks it. That one I know you're supposed to clean your coins. When I first started, I didn't really know that very well, so I cleaned a lot of my coins. I scrubbed them hard. Same thing goes with my silvers. People say, oh, why are your silvers so shiny? Well, I like cleaning them, so don't judge me. Or judge me, it's okay. This last row were coins that I dug while in Virginia. I was only there for a few months, but I really found some great stuff. So this first one here was a surface find when I was at the lake. It's a 1954 Mexican centavo. This was my first V-nickel. This was my first mercury dime in the States. I found my first mercury dime was actually out here in Japan. I can't seem to find it. This is a beautiful 1844 large cent. And this guy right here is probably my favorite. That is a 2 real cob. I was stoked to find that. I found that and this 1787 and this barber quarter and this Indian head penny. That's my first Indian head penny. And that shield nickel, or excuse me, V nickel, all at the same location. As well at that location is another coin, or is a coin that I sold, which was an 1811 half cent. And I sold that to a friend of mine as well. And all of these are those Kane Tsuhos I was telling you about. Now this one I set it aside. I'm unable to get a date on it or any identification, but based on the silver hole, the round hole, it's actually probably my oldest coin. They used to be punched in the round hole before they were even square hole, but again, I can't get any information off of it. So here are my other ancient coins. Hopefully you guys can see those well. These are all Kane Tsuhos, so 16 to early 1800s. And here are some that are in pretty bad shape. These, I'll cut to another scene, were all in one stack. It was pretty awesome, along with that one right there. They were all in a stack, kind of like this, and I actually was able to get them apart. So here's just some broken ones, and we'll come up here. I dug this on it's not silver, but it was my first silver dollar, which was pretty awesome. I about fell over because I thought it was silver, but it was not silver. But nonetheless, I was stoked. These are all of my silver war nickels. Let's put a light on it. There you go. It's probably a little bit better. Those are my war nickels. These are all the silver dimes that I've dug. Those of you that think that they're not dug, you're wrong. They just, again, I cleaned the hell out of them before I knew you weren't supposed to clean your coins. So baking soda and hot water does the trick. A lot of the coins I find are 1958s. The majority of these are 1958s. That was the first year that U.S. currency was used in Okinawa as the primary currency. So these are a few coins that are slick. These were dug back in the States, a large cent and a half cent size. Can't see what they are. A couple of buffalo nickels, a few here. This was likely a 1 cent or a 2 cent, but it was destroyed during the war. These are all half cents right here. And some more half cents. And some 1 cents, pre-World II and during, and just some various aluminum coins. This one was interesting right here. That was actually a unique coin in that it was for like a world fair or something. Here, let me turn it over. That was kind of unique. This is a 1975 World Fair, or something like that. So that was kind of neat. These are all the wheat pennies I've dug here in Okinawa. Again, a lot of these are 1958s. Similar to our wheat pennies here in the States, they're 10 yens. I think pre-1939, had ridges on them. I don't know if you can see the ridges here. And so I just kind of keep those separately. I try not to clean them or use them like the other ones, just because they're as old as they are. These are just different foreign currencies that I've dug since I've been here. Hong Kong, some Euro, New Zealand, that was kind of neat. United Arab Emirates, I don't know what this stuff is right here. And then a lot of Korean. So yeah, those are all the coins. Here's some interesting stuff. Bunch of buckles, shrapnel, just some various things I put in here. Different medicine bottles that have come out of caves. US buttons, Japanese buttons, more Japanese buttons, different pottery, some random pieces of bronze and stuff like that. That's actually a small tsubo, so like a knife or a small dagger would have went in there. Different pipe pieces, tips and bowls, and some really old stuff. Old buttons, some of which was dug in mainland Japan. And then on to this. So a lot of this stuff is the war relics. So yeah, these were basically the fuse and primer for different sized mortars, some larger than others. This was a Japanese, like a mortar plug. Basically it would have been screwed in before it was primed. Some massive pieces of shrapnel that I've dug, like this one. Huge. That would have been to a massive shell right here. Let's see here. So this is a 20 millimeter massive round, 50 cal, and then various rifle rounds, some of which are Japanese. This is, I believe, American 30-06. This is a Japanese round. This one is also Japanese. This one is really unique. I've only dug a few of these. See how large the base is. Like there's a big rim on it, almost like a revolver pistol would have. Obviously it's not a revolver. These rounds are unique as well. That's that one right there, the long skinny ones. This is a M1 carbine. That's the 45. That is the other, it's like a 9mm revolver. And this little guy right here, again, it's kind of like between a 9mm and a 380. This is just an exploded round that I found in a cave. And this is just a random round. I have no idea what size it is. It's kind of interesting. Those I found together. They're actually the only 50 cals that I found that are like belted. So they're actually like metal that had them cased together. I don't know if they were in a, I don't know how they were fed, but it was kind of neat. This is some various things I've dug. Cool little lock, small skeleton key, massive boar tusk out of a cave. So there were definitely some large hogs on Okinawa at one point. Some huge like pick or I don't know, wedge or something that was from mainland Japan. And then these matcha scoops, which I also recently from a Japanese person found, that found out that they actually, women would use them through their hair, through their buns. There's a bunch of just junk jewelry, costume jewelry I've dug. A couple of good tokens, like I don't collect tokens, but apparently this is a a good one. This is kind of neat from Tokyo Disney. So back in the States, you know, we use, you know, a couple quarters and a penny. This is actually a 10 yen that smushes down into this, so that's kind of unique. Bunch of keys, modern dog tags. This is how the coins come in when I dig them, and then this is kind of how the US ones come out afterwards. I will do another video on how I tumble those. There's some various buckles that I've dug. Sorry about the lighting, guys. I'm doing best I can. And this is some of my favorites. This bullet was kind of unique. I don't know if you can tell. It has been fired, and it was actually in wood. It was actually like in a tree root, which is pretty awesome. And it's hard to tell on camera, but it has been fired. You can see the marks where it went through the rifling. So that's pretty awesome. It's actually one of my favorite finds. This fork here, US fork, pretty awesome. When we dug that next to some other interesting stuff, so that's kind of neat. I recently dug this old set of Sergeant chevrons, which is really old. Those of you who are currently in the military know that we don't use those backings, so it's definitely old from the war. And beside it was that dog tag right there, which I was stoked to find. It was one of the highlights. It's one of the things I wanted to find. Here's some US buttons. Really cool coin or good luck token from 1938. I found this in a cave. 1938. It's Japanese, but it's written in English, as well as this victory. This is a Japanese kind of a propaganda war token. On the back here it says Battle of Okinawa. That was also in a cave. Pretty neat. Some awesome Japanese buttons and Japanese dog tag, and this is actually I just found this recently. This is a hypodermic needle I found near a cave, and yes, that is a gold tooth. That was a wild find. I've just dug like 20 coins out of here and a buckle. It was very interesting, and I heard a low tone. Okay, and you know what low tones are, right? Gold, right? And I saw something glimmer. I was about to move down the cave. Look at this. I haven't confirmed, but I'm pretty sure I know what it is, and I think you're gonna know what it is too. Look at that, dude. Pretty sure that is a gold tooth. Holy shit, it is. Oh my god. I feel weird touching it. Oh my god, dude. It is a gold front tooth. Holy shit. Let me get a good light on it for you. Oh my god. Holy shit. That's fucking wild, man. So guys, that's it. That's the finds that I've had thus far. It's been a very interesting couple of years, and I've definitely found some great finds. Again, I found cannonballs and all kinds of stuff back in Virginia that I wasn't able to bring back, but I look forward to taking you guys along with me. Go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. My goal is to put out at least one video a week. I do a lot of metal detecting. Any chance I get, I'm out swinging a coil. So if you're interested in that, again, subscribe, share the video. All of my different social media accounts I've just created for this channel are going to be linked in the description box. And yeah, stay tuned for the next video. Reach out if you have any questions, if you have any specific videos you'd like to see, or if you have any questions about Okinawa in general, feel free to hit me up. Alright guys, take care. Catch you on the next one.
Thank you very much for coming out this evening. Thank you. thank you. You're far too kind.